Hey Scorch Nation, we are here for your Wednesday anterior and lateral chain workout. So I am going to take you through all of the exercises beforehand, explain to you how they work. That way when we get into the workout live, you know exactly what you're doing. Both rounds of endurance start with 2 minutes of jump rope. So for jump rope, you guys can actually use a jump rope or you can use an imaginary jump rope. So if you guys don't have a jump rope, act like you have one and still get your wrists moving as you guys are hopping. So I don't care how it's done, whether you guys are doing single hops, you're doing double unders, or if you guys are doing single leg or single foot. It is up to you. The goal is just to stay moving for the entire 2 minutes. During your first endurance round, after you guys finish jump rope, you have dumbbell thrusters. So dumbbell thrusters, you're gonna grab a set of dumbbells. If you do not have dumbbells, don't worry, you guys are just gonna have imaginary dumbbells and you guys are gonna push those over your head. So grab your dumbbells, get them up in that front rack position, core nice and tight, weights in the heels, feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and then from here sink into those heels, suck your abs in, and then drive those dumbbells up straight over your head. You're using all the momentum from your legs and that hip pop to drive them up. So remember, this is not a shoulder exercise, it's actually a leg exercise. Second exercise in your first round of endurance is going to be the medicine ball Russian twist. If you do not have a medicine ball or a dumbbell or any weighted object, you guys can just use your hands and take them from side to side. For this one, if you're holding a medicine ball, you're gonna hold it out here. You're gonna take your elbows and you're gonna stick them out like chicken wings, okay? Suck your abs in, and then from here, you guys are taking that medicine ball all the way down to one side, tapping it on the ground, back to center, and then the other. Keeping slow and controlled and activating your core, so you're pulling your belly button into your spine with every single rep with this one. Now, if you guys have low back issues, feel free to put your heels on the ground to anchor down, and that's going to relieve that pressure on that low back. The first exercise in endurance round 2 after you guys finish your 2 minutes of jump rope is the single arm overhead squat. Now this will be a true test of your core strength and thoracic mobility. So what's happening, all the mobility you have in your mid back. So you guys need a dumbbell or possibly just your arm. Okay, you guys are gonna take that dumbbell or even just your arm way up over your head. The goal is to keep it locked out the entire time. So lock it out, wide stance squat on this one. Again, weights in the heels, suck your abs in, and then from here, the goal is to go down through your heels, touch the ground, keeping that arm completely straight the entire time. If your arm starts to bend, you have to go with a lighter weight, or again, if you don't have a weight or you just can't do a weight, which is actually very common, get your arm right up over your head, and you guys are gonna do the same exact thing. The second exercise in your second round of endurance is going to be the single arm dumbbell snatch. Now, just like in our strength exercises when we did the burpee to high pull, the idea is that you want to pop your hips forward with one, and the momentum from that hip pop is what actually drives this dumbbell up. So we're still leading with the elbow's higher than the wrist, and momentum is going to help us carry that dumbbell all the way up. So weights in the heels, core nice and tight. From here, sink down. Now from this position, you guys are gonna pop your hips forward, drag that dumbbell up your body, and let it go straight up over your head. So again, this is a leg exercise, not an upper body exercise. If you guys do not have dumbbells to do this one, you guys are gonna do in and out squat jumps. So palms together, you guys are gonna sink into a narrow stance squat, drop down, explode out, and then back into a wide stance, in and out. The first exercise in the strength tricep is the dumbbell reverse lunge. If you don't have dumbbells, you're just gonna hold your hands right out in front of you. But from here, you guys are gonna take a giant step back. You guys are gonna make sure that the weight is in your front heel, drop your back knee down, and then from here, you're coming up, you're driving your knee, you're driving your toe, and coming right back down. So we're gonna do all on one side, all on the other side, making sure that we have perfect posture. Now again, if you don't have dumbbells, hands are gonna be here right out in front of you, making sure your chest is up high the entire time. The second exercise in your strength circuit is the burpee to high pull. So we're not gonna do a push-up with this one. If you don't have dumbbells, after your burpee, you're gonna hop up and you're gonna do the same upright row arms or high pull arms that we would normally do. So you're practicing that range of motion. So when we get back in this gym, you guys are able to do it. So dumbbells are gonna be down on the ground. You guys are gonna grab them, jump your feet back, jump them forward. As you pop your hips forward, you're coming up into a high pull. So fast, it looks like this. Remember that our elbows always go higher than our wrists up on those high pulls, and we're making sure to keep our shoulders and our jaw nice and relaxed. The third exercise in your strength circuit is going to be the plank with hip rotation. So the biggest thing with this exercise is, one, you're in a plank on your forearms, and two, you're only going through a range of motion that your hips allow you to. I don't want you to overstretch your hips and try to get them to touch the ground if you don't have the mobility for it. So even the smallest range of motion can be effective in this exercise. So you guys are gonna go down to your plank on your forearms, come up, tight core, dropping for hips from one side, back to center, and then to the other side. This is meant to be a slow and controlled exercise. I don't want you guys going super fast because that uses momentum, and that momentum makes it so you don't get the full benefit and the full core benefit. So no six-pack abs, and we want them. So go slow. So the first exercise in your power round is going to be a plank, side plank with a hip lift. So again, you guys are gonna go down to your forearm. You guys are gonna get up into your plank position to start. Now here, make sure you're engaging your core. If you need to, you can put this hand right here on the ground, or if you guys have knee issues or trouble doing this, you can drop that lower part of your leg. But if you guys are in a full plank position, you're gonna start here, and now you guys are going to drop your hip down. You're gonna touch the ground, come to a complete stop on the ground, and then lift it right back up. So with this exercise, again, we wanna make sure that we're going slow and controlled, and we're keeping our core engaged the entire time and going through a full range of motion. The skipping A drill in place is going to be your second power exercise. Now, this is one we actually do in the warm-up, normally up and down the turf when we are getting ready to do our sports workouts. We're now going to use it as a cardio power movement. So, biggest thing with the skipping A drill is that you're trying to drive your knee and your toe upwards, okay? It's actually a sprint drill. So from here, what you guys are going to do is you're going to do one side and then the other. So it's almost like you're marching in place, really focusing on pulling your core in, shoulders back, chest up, and making sure that that toe is pulled right up towards your face. We're trying to get that tibialis anterior, that muscle on the front side of your shins to fire, because if that sucker is strong, it means you're less likely to get shin splints. The first exercise in your second round of power is the dumbbell squat. So just like in the thrusters, we're gonna make sure the weight's in our heels, our core is nice and tight, but the dumbbells now are gonna be down beside you. From here, you guys are gonna again shift back into those heels, suck your abs in, shoot your hips straight back, and you should be able to wiggle your toes at the bottom of this movement. Then drive up, push your hips forward, squeeze your glutes, and go right back down. The second exercise in your second round of power is the single leg RDL to PLYO Hop, or single leg Romanian deadlift. You do not need weights for this one, and you need to make sure that you're engaging your core the entire time, because that's what's gonna help you with balance. So for this exercise, all the weight is gonna go into one leg. You're going to get your shoulders back, chest up, core tight. You're gonna actively push back with this heel. As you guys go back into that single leg, you're trying to get a stretch down your standing leg, and then from here, you're driving your knee up and through and going into that PLYO hop. Now the goal is to go right back down into that single leg RDL. And if you guys have trouble doing that one, tap your foot down in between. So that's gonna help you so you regain that balance. But if you can, give yourself a little challenge and really try to get through a couple reps without putting that foot down. So those are the exercises that you guys are going to be doing today during our live workout. So review them, try them out, and then I will do them with you at 9 a.m.